Hello everyone, happy Wednesday, happy scoping out. We're talking about a biggie today. We're talking about how to stop worrying about what everyone, in quotes, thinks. Because one of the biggest obstacles we have when we're trying to get out of our own way and create the wonderful things that we're meant to create in this lifetime is the thought about what other people are going to think about us as we try and fail, or maybe even try and succeed, and now there's jealousy or whatever it is we think that is going on in other people's heads. We're about to inspect that and get a little bit raw with it. A little, this may not be comfortable for everybody, I'm just saying. Really, let's investigate everyone, right? Most often when someone starts talking about everyone in a coaching session, whether it's the membership, one-on-one, or in a class, whatever, if I really ask you who's everyone, it's usually what you think mom would say. Or that best friend, or that ex-husband, or that person that we really let in close to our innerest sphere of influence, right? When we really get down to that closest to us piece, we have developed these relationships where we think we have understood somebody without inspection because we had a long enough relationship with them, or we had an intimate enough relationship with them that we just kind of knew all the answers. So we always kind of knew what they thought. So if we don't show up to that family reunion, everyone's going to think we don't care about them. Everyone? Really? Aunt Susie, who missed the last 3 because of cancer treatments, is going to judge you for not being there? Really? How about, Uncle Philip by marriage, who hardly knows you? Everyone? Really? So first thing you want to do when you start thinking about everyone's going to think, I want you to really dial that back because it ends up being a very small number. So right out of the gate, the pressure is off because you don't have an everyone. There is no everyone. There is no en masse. Everybody's sitting there criticizing you, right? So when you get really down into the minutia, it's usually between 1 and 3 people that you're really, really worried about. The second piece to stop caring about what everyone thinks, now that you realize it's just a few people, is understand that there's this phenomenon that goes on. All of the positions we have adopted about other people become our own self-criticism. I'll give you a really good example. A client of mine had an illness that caused him to gain a lot of weight very quickly. And he hated looking at himself in the mirror every day. And he had begun to turn it around after we'd worked together and we worked on some of the self-loathing and we worked on all of these things. He had begun to turn around, but progress just could not come fast enough. It just could not get there fast enough, right? And when we really got down to brass tacks about where this criticism was coming from, he's like, even though I start to love myself when I go to the gym or I go on a walk, I just know everybody that drives by is criticizing me. Everybody that's in the gym is criticizing me. I said, how do you know that? And he got really raw with me. And he said, because when I was really in shape, I was the one criticizing them. In Course in Miracles, it says, what you give to others, you give to yourself. Oh, that's so powerful. I'm going to say it again. What you give to others, you give to yourself. What you give to others, you give to yourself. Honey, you might be your own worst everyone. What have you been giving to others? Have you been giving them grace? Have you been giving them understanding? Or have you been giving them guilt or shame or greed or envy or criticism? So how do you think you fix it? I don't even have to tell you now, right? You start giving differently. Because in the grace that you experience with others, with the forgiveness that you give to others, you begin to forgive yourself. And as you begin to forgive yourself, you begin to forgive others. Because this client of mine, you can be damn well sure, he started to understand how it is people get overweight in the first place. Because his criticism was, how do you even let it get that bad? How do you even let it get that far? Please, take care of yourself, right? Well, now he knows. Now he has grace. Now he understands his own fallibility. And in understanding that, he can begin to understand others. And letting go of that, he can begin to let go of that criticism of others. And as he lets go of the criticism of others and can love them right where they are, he learns to love himself right where he is. Do you understand? What you give to others, you give to yourself. And regardless of that first piece, nailing down that everyone, redefining that everyone, that onerous populace that is out there telling you what you should and shouldn't do with your life, that's step one. You realize there's, 1 to 3 people are out there that might even give a damn. And if you actually have a conversation with them about it, you'll find, because you weren't inspecting those relationships, you weren't inspecting those beliefs, you knew them long enough, you just know how they thought, right? You might find after some time they've changed. After some time, like, they don't care if you show up or not, or they care so much that it's not a guilt trip, they're just disappointed that you're not there, or whatever the answer is. You can inspect those and find new reasonings and new rationales rather than working off of your assumptions. And you become super, super conscious of what you are putting out into the world. Remember, I talk about this all the time. You cannot change other people. You can't make them care. You can't make them feel grateful for you. You can't make them listen to you. You can't make them do right by themselves. Others, their circumstances, you can't. You have zero control over how other people respond to you or their world. What you can do, and even then, only by just a lot of self-effort, you can learn to control yourself. You can get off of these unconscious and subconscious defaults that are ruining your success and putting you right in the middle of your own way. You are your own biggest obstacle. You can, with a lot of practice, begin to change yourself and grow yourself and heal yourself. And in that way, you begin to give something else, and then you receive something else, and you begin to change. Maybe not the world, you will, but your world. And the ripple effect of that grows. Because what is possible when you're bringing your best self to your best work? Anything is possible at that point. You've stopped giving away your power to anyone else, and you've claimed it, and you've sat in it, and you've basked in it. Right? You've really, really owned it now, and now it's yours to keep. And not only yours to keep, but yours to show by example. Yours for others to select from. I want me some of that. I want to feel that confident. I want to take those risks. I want to stop caring what everyone thinks. Right? Now you're having conversations about what it took to forgive yourself. Now you're having conversations about what it took to take that big risk. And who cares if somebody criticizes you? Now you know what it took to get to the place where you weren't afraid of money or success, because you're no longer afraid of other people being envious of it or cutting you out because of it. Because you've stopped doing it to others. See how we got a little more raw there? We thought we were going to talk about everyone, didn't you? We were talking about you. That's the way this work goes. So your homework and my homework is to stay in our own lane, deal with our own shit, heal our own stuff, do better, give better, and then allow in the receiving of better. Give yourselves a great big hug from me. I love you so much. I'm so glad that you're here. I'll see you next week, Wednesdays, 8:30 a.m. What? Why do I do that? 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Oh! Now, last time I had a hard time closing this down. Let's see how it goes today. Ooh, a little swipey.